Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Now Crafting at the Osprey Lounge with me, your host, Joey Scalzo. Today, I want to teach you how to make a classic cocktail, a Manhattan. We are going to make our Manhattan up, as they say. Up meaning in a cocktail glass. Beautiful cocktail glass right here. So we're going to make a Manhattan up. Ingredients for a Manhattan are the following. Your choice: bourbon or rye. I have two different ryes here, Redemption Rye or Hudson rye whiskey from good old New York State. And the other ingredient is a sweet vermouth. Today I have Via. It's coming out of our friends over at Quaddy Winery in good old California. It's an artisanal vermouth. It's a sweet vermouth. Remember, with your vermouths, you should always chill them. They should always be in the refrigerator because they are a wine-based spirit. So this can go bad if it's left out to oxidize, if it's left in your cabinet, let's say. Because I know that this is probably not used as much in your creative cocktail making, but I wanted to show this to you. Very, artisanal sweet vermouth that our friends over at Quaddy Winery make. And last but not least, we have the cherries. I've chosen Luxardo Maraschino cherries. These cherries are delicious. They are imported by our friends over at Anchor Distilling, and if you're familiar with Anchor Distilling, they actually provide us with Anchor Steam beer out of San Francisco. And I did forget one more item, which I do have here. Hold, please. Let me find it. I think I have it here. Hold on. I see it. It's down here in the bar. It is bitters. Where are you, bitters? I'll find you. I'll find you. Let's see. Let us use these bitters. Orange bitters. Can you see that? These are orange bitters from Berg and Hawks. It's a nice little company, artisanal bitters. So we have to use those for our Manhattan. Now, let's get started. To make a Manhattan, the ingredients you use, it's all spirits. So there's no mixer. So when you're using all spirits in a cocktail, you want to use the 2-to-1 ratio. So the primary spirit being the bourbon or the rye, I'm going to actually choose to use Redemption Rye today. So we're not going to use the bourbon, and we're not going to use this rye, but we're going to use Redemption Rye. And via sweet vermouth, we've got our cherries and we've got our bitters. So it's always a 2-to-1 ratio. So the primary spirit being the rye, 2 ounces to 1 ounces of the sweet vermouth, and then the cherries for garnish, and 3 to 5 dashes of your bitters, whichever bitters you like. So because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be stirring this drink. Yes, we are going to be using our mixing glass. Now, what you want to do is you want to measure your ingredients. So let's go with the 2 ounces of the Redemption Rye using your jigger. 2 ounces. Woo! There you go. 2 ounces in the glass. Now you'll notice that I haven't put the ice in yet. The ice is the last thing that you want to do so that you don't dilute it too much. Remember, we were talking about barware in one episode. I did forget to mention that you should always have a waiter's corkscrew to open wine, which we'll go over in future episodes. But this artisanal vermouth, via the sweet vermouth from Quaddy Winery, has a cork in it. It is a synthetic cork, so it's a plastic cork. So we're just going to pull this cork out with our waiter's corkscrew. Give it a 1 and a 2, and you want to ease it out. You don't want to make too loud of a sound. There you go. Little kiss. There it is, synthetic cork. We'll talk all about these in future episodes. Synthetic corks, waiter's corkscrews, the proper usage. Now, we're going to put our sweet vermouth in, so we're going to use our 1 ounce side. 1 ounces of sweet vermouth. Woo! Inside. Boom. Done. All right. Done with that. Now, we're going to use our bitters, our dashy bitters. Bitters is it's a funny sort of little mixing ingredient. It is an alcohol-based mixer, but it has sort of the essence of whatever the bitters is. It kind of gives a savory note to cocktails, and it's really good. It kind of enhances the flavor and brings it out with that savoriness, the salinity. Because if you think of when you're cooking, you throw some salt on at the end, it sort of enhances the flavor. It's a flavor enhancer. So we're going to put 5 dashes. That was 5 dashes. What the heck? All right. And now we're going to add ice. Another useful tool. Your ice scoop. You want to make sure that you're using an ice scoop, that you're not using your hands or sticking your glass inside of an ice chest or an ice bin. There we go. One. Let's do one more scoop for just good measure. And ice plays an important role in a lot of cocktails. This is just a basic sort of cube ice. I'll show you some fun shapes, spheres, and blocks of ice later on down the road in future episodes. You have your mixing spoon. Manhattans are always stirred. They're never shaken. They are never, ever, ever shaken. Stanley Tucci, I love you so, but that Negroni you made, no, no, no. Negronis are always stirred. So what the trick is, you want to stir it at least 60 rounds or a minute. So you do whatever you like, but you need to stir it at least 60 rounds or 1 minute. So I'm just going to stir it. You're just going to stir, stir, stir. Manhattan. One of my favorite drinks. It really is. It's almost like a dessert drink because it is fairly sweet. But, you know, it's always nice to start a meal with a Manhattan. You can have it after a meal, too, as well as a digestive. But Manhattans are a great, great classic cocktail. All right. That's at least 60 times around. And then you want to use your Hawthorne strainer. You want to strain this in. I give it a couple more swirls, maybe about 10 more swirls. And then strain it off into your beautiful cocktail glass. Give it a little shake at the end to get the last few juices out of there, right up to the line. And then you want to use your Luxardo maraschino cherries. Now, Luxardo maraschino cherries are delicious. They're amazing cherries. Not those yucky maraschino cherries that you get with that red dye. These are imported from Italy, these cherries. And they are delicious. I'm actually salivating talking about them and thinking about having them right now. I always like to use 3. 3 is the magic number of cherries or olives if you're making a martini, which we will go over at another point in another video. But right now, this right here is your beautiful classic cocktail, the Manhattan. What do you think? Let's try it. Delicious. So amazing. It's your Rye Manhattan. I'm Joey Scalzo. This is Now Crafting at the Osprey Lounge, and I hope you've enjoyed the segment.